everyone.
Hi, welcome back to Re-Brew. This is KJ Workman, and I am here with Melvyn Bermudez. And we have two special guests with us today. We have Thom Tillier and Anthony Suarez, and we're going to be talking about Inside the Lab. And we're going to get into what Lab is, what the Agent Lab Tampa is going to be, and how that's going to bring value to the agents inside Tampa Bay. So we've got Melvyn. What are we doing today?
We are discussing a little, what did you call it? A brainchild of ours. We're talking something free, something filled with value, something filled with knowledge, power tools, not power tools specifically, but power with tools. So lot to dive into. We have a lot of good substance in this episode, just talking about what's to come, what's in it for you, and how that's going to help you grow your business and expand in the new year and forward.
All right, so let's get into it.
Let's go.
Pull up a chair, grab a pint or two. We're talking real estate, it's Re-Brew. From Tampa's breweries to deals on the rise, we'll help you grow and maximize. It's Re-Brew time, let's raise a glass to hops, homes, and making moves that last. So sip it slow and hear what's new. Welcome to the show, it's Re-Brew. It's Re-Brew time, let's raise a glass to house, homes, and making moves that last. So sip it slow and hear what's new. Welcome to the show, it's Re-Brew.
So we've got Agent Lab, which stands for Learn, Adapt, and Build.
Yes.
And we've got the four of us here talking about what we're recognizing in our market and what we're going to fill the need of in our market. So we're just talking about what those things are. So what did you say earlier, Anthony? Something about you're noticing brokerages aren't giving training.
Yeah, so I'm getting a lot of feedback from my agents that I work with, especially the ones that are at the smaller brokerages, where they're not getting that support from their brokers, or they have brokers who are kind of not up to date with technology and they don't understand, what's trending right now for them, right? And so they're not getting those tools and they're not being taught those things. And this is a great setting where we'll be able to teach all those tools to all the agents that we have coming in,
A lot of the influence came from, Town Fair event just a couple weeks ago here, the Listing Edge. That was an amazing event. And then, of course, Mega Marketing, that's here in Tampa once a year.
Right.
And you could just see it and feel the need. The agents were just absorbing the knowledge. We all had a chance to go to Mega Marketing, and we all had a chance to speak at Mega Marketing, and it was fantastic. But the knowledge, they just need it.
Yep.
Because things have changed, the skill gap is widening, and the people that were doing business a certain way need to change the way they do business, really.
100%.
Yeah.
I like the the gap between who knows what to do and who doesn't have a clue on how to get started, because I feel like until you put a name to it and you actually tell people, like, there's so much out there that you don't know. Right? And that's the hard part, is that they don't even know they don't know it. Mm-hmm. And then there's out there people like you, Thom, that's doing things at a high level. You're blowing other people out of the water, but you're like also the same guy that wants to reach back and, hey, let me help you.
I do.
Let me help bring you up to this to speed. So what are some things that we're going to be talking about? Like, LAB stands for Learn, Adapt, and Build. So we've got a couple of different series, different categories that we're going to be hitting on throughout the series of bringing this to Tampa. What's something that's like I want to pass this on because I know I'm doing it, and most people don't even know that it exists.
Sure. Well, you guys do a good job of that, too. I mean, that's what attracted me to you guys and partnering with you guys as title company, is because when I see the title companies that are out there, everyone's doing a good job. Like, let's just call it what it is. Everyone does a good job. But when you have very progressive title company that wants to get out there and truly help agents move the needle, that's what's so appealing. Yeah. Because you guys speak the same language I do. That's what I want to do. That's what Anthony wants to do. That's what you guys want to do.
Right.
So an example of that for me is video first communication. I do believe,
which you're excellent at, by the way.
Phenomenal.
Let's just say that.
Well, thanks. But I do believe that I truly believe in my heart of hearts that it's easier and better and more efficient to communicate through video than it is, to a client or a prospect, than it is through texting,
100%.
Emailing, or calling even. Because calling.
And why is that?
Well, calling, for example, calling is if you're interrupting somebody, right? You're not on their time. Think about that. If I call you,
You nailed it. I hate it when people call me. I'm like, I'm busy.
I know.
yeah, but if I sent you a video that had an update on something,
Watch
you would
in real
appreciate
time.
it when you have that break.
Yeah, I agree.
See, you just got to say the hard part out loud. That's exactly why I don't like phone calls.
Actually, I'm getting a lot of great feedback from what I'm doing, which is your video connect on the mortgage side of things, right? So I'm doing the same exact thing with people as I start going through their pricing scenarios and their breakdowns with the, with the property, the taxes, the insurance, and that has helped them understand the process a lot more. And again, like you said, it's on their time, right? It's not me calling them, interrupting what's going on in the day, and then them trying to listen to me while they're doing something else for 25 minutes. Like one of my feedbacks that I got from one of my agents was like, hey, it was great. I was really, really busy when I got the video. I went back home. Like I got to sit down like on my table, and I got to actually watch the video and take into consideration everything that you said. So that educational piece of the video is so important.
And it works with prospects. It works with clients. It works with agent partners, right? It works with title partners. It works
Very
with mortgage
universal.
partners.
Yeah.
It works with everybody, and everybody has this handy dandy phone in their hand, and it's amazing what it can do if you want to put it to work.
And then one of the things, like when I send a video out, I actually make it a point to say, hey, watch this when you have a second. Because some people think that you want to watch it the moment that they send it. Like, I need you to watch this right now. No,
That's just TikTok. Send you a TikTok watch. Anything else, I'll preface it.
Right,
Mm,
I'll
watch this
preface it.
later.
But this TikTok right now,
Right now.
immediately. But the idea that you're giving people, because the rat race, the whole, you got to do things immediately, just Amazon has the tracking and everything has tracking, and like you have to do it. Giving people that permission to step back and go, all right, I live a busy life, but I do want and value your information.
Right.
I'll watch it when it's 9:30 and I have my kids in bed and I'm able to pay attention. So it's important, but what's hard for realtors is that they're taught that hustle, do it, make 100 calls. 100 calls may not be effective as 10 videos.
Yeah,
Facts.
100%.
Facts.
I mean,
I don't know.
you should also make your calls. I'm not saying don't make your calls.
No,
But I'm also
I'm saying don't make your calls.
Oh, Tom
I
saying
agree.
it.
I don't think you need to spend as much time on the calls when you're doing the videos, because I promise you're going to get much better feedback from your clients. They're going to appreciate it a lot more. And one of the things too that I like about the video is like that conversation I had with you via that video. It doesn't go anywhere. It's saved, right? You can go back and watch that video 10 times over if you need to understand the video. It's not just that.
Or it's also like if
conversation.
there's a spouse or somebody else involved in the transaction, you could wait till you're both available. So it eliminates that game of telephone, eliminates the whole unknown scenario. It helps. I mean, I used to do the same thing in the mortgage side. I'd do a little screen share, go over the closing disclosure line by line. Hey, if you have any questions after you watch this, then reach out and let me know. And I'd say 9 times out of 10, they didn't have any questions. And if they did, it was the most simple, just basic, I want to understand this line or what this letter means and the dollar amount next to it type deal. But, if you do a good enough job explaining it the first time, it's clear.
Well, let's go through the entire process of a phone call.
Yeah.
Okay, let's just say I call you, Melvyn.
Okay.
Oh, are we going to
And
script
say,
and role play?
Well, yeah. Let's just say you're the client.
Okay.
I
Deal.
love this.
And I'm calling you because I have something that's important to me to talk to you about.
Right.
Right? And I'm going to update you on something. So I call you and say you don't answer.
Right.
What are my choices? Leave a voicemail that nobody checks?
Nobody checks. If
My
I can't read
voicemail
it.
actually says, I will not listen to this voicemail. Does it not?
It does.
It says, I will not listen to this text
That's
me.
number one.
Okay.
I should leave a voicemail because then what's going to happen? I'm going to text you. What am I going to say? Please call me back when you get a moment. Now it's an
So,
emergency.
yeah,
Is it an emergency or not an emergency? Or do
Right.
I have to leave a long-winded text? What is it?
True.
Right?
I mean,
there's so many other.
so many options, so many variables.
And then you're texting, and what if my phone rings because somebody's calling me at an inconvenient time? And now I'm like, oh, then I totally forget the text.
Yep.
Right.
But
100%.
then you call me back and you say, hey, Tom, you called, but you didn't leave a message.
Oh, yeah. What was I calling you about? I forgot.
Think about that. It's
You
the
wanna buy, sell, or
the
invest real
psychology of
estate?
it. The psychology.
wild.
It is wild. So that's why I found that this works really well for me.
Yeah.
And other people that are trying it. I did have a chance to talk to about 30 agents last week at an event. And I actually got people calling me and telling me and leaving me a video message that it worked because they did something with their client.
They're applying the
So that's just one of the pieces that I like to talk about.
Yeah.
There's so many other things that agents need help with. By any means, this is not just video first communication. It's just kind of
Correct.
kicking off kicking off the podcast, I guess,
Right.
and kicking off the conversation.
Well, it's definitely something we're going to talk about.
Yeah.
Oh, 100%.
To learn how to do it effectively, learn the tools, because it's like people go, okay, well, what do I need to do to send a video? Well, your phone, but also there's other ways.
There's other, there's
What are
other. You have Bomb, if that's what you're into. There is Loomly. There is the one that you use.
Dub.
I mean,
Which one do you use?
Dub.
Dub. That's
There's
right. We
Dub.
talked about
there's
this.
so
And
many
you said you
different,
preferred that.
so many different platforms that you could use it on. But what I love is the idea of like Agent Labs is something I've said for years and built a whole role around this idea and concept. Is everybody kind of knows what they want to do. It's just they don't necessarily know how to do it or how to get to that next step to be able to do said thing. Or they've seen other people do it and they're just like not in that tech space where they're like, how the hell did they do that? Right. I think that's why Tech and Title for us was such a successful thing we did monthly, because people just had questions and it was just like, come bring us your questions, your concerns, your ideas, your thoughts. Let's see how we can help you figure that out. And I think the beauty of something like what we're working on creating here with the whole Agent Lab experience is we're doing that, but it's no cost to you. I think a lot of people are afraid in this market right now. They're like, I'd love to go to Tom Ferry, but is that really for me? And do I really want to invest $1,000 to go to this event I may or may not connect with?
What am I going to get out of it? How am I going to make my money back?
Everybody's justifying the money part, and I think creating something like this where there is no buy-in, no deposits, no Affirm, Klarna monthly payment situation.
No vendors. No vendors.
No vendors.
So
it's going to be very non-abrasive, but very come as you are and come with what you're looking to learn and what you're looking to build. And let's adapt. Let's figure out how we can make that happen
Let's learn.
for you.
Let's build.
I'm going to have a song made. I'm going to use the AI to make a song.
Well, so speaking of AI, Anthony, you spoke on AI at Mega Market.
Yes, yeah. So that's another thing I think. is
No, you
huge
called it
for
something else
agents.
because I didn't know what it was called, and you explained it, and I was like, language.
Learn large language models. Yeah, so you have large language models, machine learning, deep learning, and then you have AI as a whole. So inside
Now
of
you
AI,
have operators.
and then you have operators, and so inside of AI are all those different types of dolls.
I feel like I'm living in Tron. User.
Ready Player One.
I had a lot of fun in trying to explain AI to a friend of mine. We were on a nature hike this weekend.
You were explaining AI on a nature walk?
Yeah.
Aw,
we were talking about it
nuts.
because he was questioning, like, he said something about AI. And I said, and he said, yeah, my son helped me with this. And it was so basic, it was interesting. And I said, that's like the top layer of the pudding. But the pudding vat goes 1,000 feet deep.
Yeah.
Right? I said, that was like the skin on the pudding. Like you're at the very, very
Skin
top of
on
the
the
pudding.
pudding.
Isn't it gross? The
It's
skin on
like,
the
well, I'm
pudding?
thinking of like the custard where they crystallize the top, and you just break through the ice.
Oh, I love that, though. I
creme
love
brulee.
that. I love that.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. The skin on the pudding. That's what I see in my
homemade
head.
chocolate pudding with that skin that forms.
Listen.
It's
Oh,
kind of
like
gross.
a ganache.
hate
I
it.
also have a weird issue. Like I always try to
don't know what
relate
y'all are
things
eating.
back. When he said vat, my brain for some odd reason went to like the Renaissance Festival and how those people like mush around in the mud with their bare feet.
Oh
Like,
my
that's how I
God.
imagine someone in
That's
a
Well,
vat
That's what I'm thinking
pudding.
too. I'm like, I'm waiting for my soap to come out from the.
Yeah,
Well, hey, whatever my analogy is,
help us just mushing around.
Listen.
it
Pudding.
goes so deep.
It does.
It does go so
Yeah.
deep.
And there's a lot to know about and learn
And
about.
I think a lot of agents feel the same way. They're right at the top layer, and they do a listing description,
or an email.
or let me
Right.
help craft this email, and they're like, man, I'm using AI.
Yeah, social media posts, or you
You're
can
not.
always kind of see which ones those
Yep.
are too. You kind of know right away when.
And like with anything else, it's like even with AI, people know of it. Obviously, I mean, if you don't know of it, it's shocking to me
Yeah.
at this point.
Well, that's
especially,
what
the
I was trying to
skill
explain to
gap.
the class, right? Is that like people have been using AI for a long time. You
Yeah.
just don't realize it. Like your Netflix recommendations are
Yep,
AI.
yep.
Every time you unlock your phone, it's AI. Like you're using it. You're implementing it every single day. You're just not realizing, what the benefit
Yep.
is, especially when you come into like large language models. Like,
Well, they use it at
Perplexity
such a, like you
and
said, it's such a minimal level. Like they just know the basics
Such a pudding
of it.
that level. Like they
I
need
mean,
to
even they need to level it up to custard. But like even flan even. But even when I've taught classes on ChatGPT and AI, like, dude, it blows my mind. 'Cause
All right, I'm
like,
hungry.
Hey, you could do this, you could do that. You can upload these documents. You could have it merge your contact files together. I even went into detail. I was like, hey, you can upload your whole PowerPoint and tell it, hey, what's out of date, and it will come back and tell you which slides to replace and how to do it. But like people are like, what?
And that's where it goes
You can
to,
do
like-
that? I'm like,
yeah.
yeah. There's more to it than just copy paste and let's make your description longer.
100%. That's where the AI, in my opinion, is like the biggest part, is using it as like a thought partner, right? Instead of just
100%.
using it like to, like we said, craft social
Yeah.
media messages and your emails. There's so many more things that you can do if you learn how to
So
use
many.
it, right?
So many.
There's multiple platforms, multiple things, multiple tasks, multiple automations. It's nuts. But even with you speaking on AI and bringing your AI knowledge to Agent Lab, I really am excited about bringing on guests.
Yes.
Or every month.
100%.
I agree. Yeah.
Yeah, that's where we should focus, right? We're going to bring knowledge and we're going to bring things and we're going to bring other people and other ideas. But that guest speaker, that 1 hour of somebody that you wouldn't normally see
Right.
is cool.
Yeah.
And we all have the connections to bring in some people that will actually add value to your business, because business, yes, tech and tools and softwares and systems are all super important. But, and we're not going to say that all of us don't recognize this, but a lot of people forget this. Mindset sometimes has to be the number one thing. It has to be the cap over all of it. Your mindset's messed up, none of your systems are going to work. None of your
Right.
technology is going to flow. Like, it's just not going to make sense. So we've got some mindset people in there too. And I think that kind of falls under the build ability, because you really can't build and scale without a build and scale mentality.
Yeah.
Whereas you're just trying to get through the day, transaction after transaction, you're never going to get anywhere. You're literally going to burn out and run yourself into the ground. So bringing people in that also talk about not just tools and tech and systems and whatnot, all super important, but also those mindset type people. We've got a lot of those on the roster. On the roster.
Yeah, it's fun. Just
No
that,
imposters on the
just that
roster.
roundtable we had, making the calls to some people. They're like, I'm in.
Yeah.
You know, I'm in. And so that's going to be fun building that out. And more importantly, 3 hours on a Thursday in the morning, it's not going to eat up anybody's time. It's not going to cost anybody any money. I mean, it's
Your kids are in school. Like, come on in.
Yeah, you're gonna walk away with value, and you're gonna walk away with new learnings.
Yeah.
Like it's totally worth it.
and if you RSVP and you miss one, we don't let you in the next one.
So be there.
Well,
Just kidding.
so we're building a community around this too. So we've got a Facebook page, Agent Lab Tampa.
Yep.
And we've got the label Tampa on there currently, because there's leaving room for possible expansion of
Yeah.
that, I think. If this goes well, and I'm going to take the if out of that. When
Yeah.
this goes well, and I knew Thom would appreciate that. Yeah, don't look at my beef tallow.
I love this stuff, by the way. I have this.
Did you just randomly carry beef tallow
I
on
was
her?
just
do.
about
This
to ask
exact tallow I've had, and I love this particular one.
Me too.
Yeah.
So is this your snack?
Nope.
What do you do with this?
Want to eat my arm?
There's not much you can't do with it. It's amazing.
It is. It's like a all over skincare.
So I bought a vat.
There's a
of
common
tallow.
theme here. I just imagine going to your house now and there's just a bunch
There's
of
just
like
vats.
everywhere and like
Puddings and
chemicals
tallows.
boiling out of.
Yeah,
They're there. I've been to his house. I've seen it.
Yep.
nice.
In the kitchen.
I'll talk about that offline, but it's interesting.
I'm glad that caught your eye. Yeah, it's a good one.
I love that one.
But so Facebook page, we've got it. It's currently labeled Agent Lab Tampa, but again, room for expansion. But the purpose of the Facebook page is to allow place for people to go to get information on who's going to be talking.
Yep.
Who's going to be our speaker? What's going to be the category or the direction that particular month's conversation is going to go? Because maybe you don't need to hear about XYZ, and so you're like, I don't really want to come to this one, but I'm going to come to this one. You're going to have access to all. It's all going to be in the same place every time, so that we have some consistency. It's going to have easy parking. I know that's
Easy
everyone's
parking.
biggest.
Yeah.
They're like, well, where do I park? Okay, right outside the door. So parking. And then there's going to be a chance for just some community, like hanging out, building once the event is over, because we're going to be at a brewery. I think right now we have it at Coppertail, and you can just hang out afterwards. You can talk to the speakers if they're staying. You can definitely speak to the Agent Lab coordinators and talk about like, what's the next one going to be, or can you come help me in this, or XYZ.
Yeah, the networking is great. I do like the pitching idea, but not like a true pitch group, because it takes up too much time.
Yeah.
And I do like bringing agents.
Well, I think that's where the punch card
listings
will work,
forward.
too.
Yeah,
You know,
we'll figure that part out. We'll figure that part out. But if I'm an agent sitting here listening to this podcast or listening to this idea of Agent Lab, and it's in Tampa, and I'm within an hour drive, I'm going to be there. Like,
Right.
it's going to be amazing.
It will be.
Free information, live, networking, all inclusive, right there, zero cost, no vendors knocking on my door. I mean, nothing against the vendors. They pay for events most of
Right,
the time.
right.
But you don't have to deal with it. It's just we're here for a point, and you're in and out.
Yep.
I think we talked about this at the last meeting, kind of the contributors to the community, the ones who are involved in coming to the events and, either talking about their properties if we are going to allow any type of pitch option there. But we talked about having a property feature portfolio. So if you are a part of this community, that's another way for you as an agent, especially if you're going to be listing agent. What do they always want to ask? Like, how are you going to market my property?
Yep.
Well, I'm in this Agent Lab community, and I go in and I have my featured properties that get sent out to all the agents that are also part of this property. It's
Right.
one more way to sell yourself as a listing agent and let people know, I am marketing your property to people, not just on Zillow, not just on Realtor.com. Like, it's going to the people that are actually in our community, and they're going to see your property, first Thursday of the month,
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
So that's just another little piece, because we know as a listing agent moving some properties right now, you have to do everything you possibly can to get that property moved. It's not just post it and hope that someone
Right.
sent an offer.
So Melvin, you've been helping agents for a while too.
Yeah.
What is your go-to? Like, what is your superpower?
Superpower, man. Honestly,
Inspector Gadget.
yes.
He is gadget
all
man.
things
I thought I was gadget man.
techie. I'm definitely gadget man. No, but outside of the tech world, I think it's utilizing the tech to help grow.
Okay.
I'm a big fan of work smarter, not harder. I think if I was to say one thing I've been focused on heavily, and I think most people know this, is social media. I'm real big on social. I still have a coach. I've had a coach now for it's going on 3 years. So it's something that I really, really focus on is the power of social. And not only that, like doing it the right way is huge. Everybody kind of wants to jump into that realm and do it, right? But there's a way to properly do it without spinning tires, and I think that's important. So that's really what I try to drill in on anything that I teach is understanding the foundation of anything that you're going to do. And that's something as simple as like CRMs. Everybody has these powerful tools and nobody takes the time to learn them. And then they wonder why things aren't going well, or they're losing contacts, or they're not able to keep up with their communications. It's like you never did the work first.
Or they went to a different agent when it was time for them to buy or something.
Right, yeah. So, I mean, that's what I focus on is really drilling that in and just the power of spending time on yourself, really.
So there's a Gary Vee video that just came out, and I'll have to share it with you guys.
For those of you who don't know Gary Vee, he wrote the book that's going to literally... I can think of the second one, but I can't think of the first one that everybody knows. What's the big one that he did before the day trading?
Jab,
Jib,
jib,
jab,
jab, right
jib,
hook.
jab. Jib,
I don't
jab,
know.
right hook.
Left
But
hook. I don't
Something
know.
like that. But his last name is long. It's Gary V. If you
Vaynerchuk.
type it in, there you go.
Vaynerchuk.
If you type it into Amazon, you'll
Yeah, a lot of people-
jab, right hook.
Yeah.
jab, jab, right.
Jab, jab, right hook. So, so Gary Vee just talked about, he's a big social media guru. But what was really interesting in this last one, he said social media is changing. And it's really going to be detailed driven. Who's your audience?
Right.
Right. And he compared like a 40 to 50-year-old on Facebook. If you're trying to attract them, that's your audience. Okay? And it was really wild that he had different categories. If you're launching a healthcare product, it's going to be a TikTok, right?
Right.
Because it's going after a different type of person. So he compared all these things, and I will share it with you. It's fascinating, but that's the rate at which things are changing between TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. Oh man, Reels,
I was to say it changes because
LinkedIn.
LinkedIn's on its way back.
It's another thing. he
Hard.
said.
It's been making its
It's-
way.
Yeah.
yeah, LinkedIn. I forgot where we're going. I was going to
said
say
it
it. and I
The
lost
different
it.
platforms just
Oh,
kind
that's
of...
to say, yeah. So, like, when you're talking about the different platforms, too, I think it also, like you were saying, it touches in different age groups, right? Because
Yeah.
most of the kids who are graduating college today and are going to get into the workforce and start buying their house, they're not on Facebook. They're on Instagram. They're on TikTok. They're on Snapchat. Those are the platforms that they're reaching, right? So, yeah, we're using Facebook to reach, I feel like, that older demographic of people. But as the agents, as they come in, they're going to want to reach, the younger demographic.
Yeah.
Learning how to use each platform, I think, is super important. So,
It is wild. I will share that with you. That's pretty.
It is
fascinating.
important.
So-
They got to focus too on a platform. I think that's something I've always drilled into is like master one lane before you get into all. I mean, no one can drive in 4 lanes at once. No one. So it's like figure out what direction you think is going to work best for you. Figure that one out first and do it well. And then once you feel comfortable, then start adding more to your tool belt. most people go in, they hear a conversation like that, like, oh, it's important to be in all these areas, and like, I gotta make a YouTube account, a TikTok account. I'm like, stop and focus on the one that makes the most sense first. And for most, it's typically Instagram, Facebook. Right. It's one and the same. It's easy, one-stop shop. Get that under control, and then once you kind of get a feel for that, then start branching out and doing more. Otherwise, you get overwhelmed and you shut down. Yeah. I mean, everybody does it. They get overwhelmed. They're like, this is too much. It's like, you're doing too much. It's not too much. You're doing the most. Like, slow your roll. Yeah. Figure this out.
It's even important to learn just the insights part of it, right? Like, when you're looking at your dashboards and stuff, if you can look at that dashboard and, like, it looks like gibberish, you probably need help. You need to figure out, what everything means so that you can effectively post and track everything the right way.
We always say, push all the buttons. Like, whenever you get a new go, we always bring her up. That was her, like, when you get a new tool and you get a new platform, whatever, push all the buttons and see what they do. And like, spend the time. Usually we often recommend get the pro version. Even if you pay for it for a year, what is it going to be like?
Right.
It's not going to be that much for whatever you're trying to buy for the pro.
Most of the things I've bought at this point in my business have been all worth it.
Yeah. And I mean, if you're buying it for your business, I mean, if you can write it off. So like, I mean, do not take that as legal advice.
It's a write-off. Everything's a write-off.
Everything's a write-off.
You turn your video camera on at the zoo and you post it on social media for living in Tampa, it's a write-off.
What?
Disclaimer, this is not legal.
Think about it.
It's crazy.
Think about it.
I mean,
I post it on my YouTube channel to attract clients.
It's crazy.
So are you writing off the trip to the zoo or the
everything?
Phone? Oh, okay.
Trip to the mall, trip to the food store, trip to the.
I mean, if you're using it to build your business,
everything, it's for business.
Right. Look,
Doge
Doge
my
is
next
going to
video
come
in the
after
Apple store and buy a bunch of stuff.
There won't be any auditors left for Doge.
Right.
We're all good. So, Anthony. So, Anthony, you have this grip on AI right now, and you're ever expanding. And let's get to KJ. KJ, what's your
as I take a drink of coffee?
Yeah, what's your superpower?
So I was an agent prior to what I do now. So I get the life. I get your struggles. I understand how important it is to brand yourself. So I basically sit down with agents and I go, well, what are you trying to do? And then with the help of my magical Melvyn over here,
Magical Melvyn. I think we got to coin that.
I think so too.
It's magical Melvyn.
If we can get that on the lab coat for our meeting.
Magical Melvyn.
That's going to be your nickname, Magical Melvyn.
Oh my God!
So
not Magic Mike. It's Magical Melvyn.
Oh, Magic Melvyn's better.
I'm checking it. I'm checking it.
Gosh.
I'll let you know in a second. Go, keep going.
Look up my name in the Urban Dictionary and then tell me if it's still magical.
Oh my heavens! Oh yeah, Melvyn with a Y. If you look up what it means, just do it because you'll laugh. But I go and I.
There right now.
That's why Melvyn and I work together so closely. Is because I've got the application version in my brain and he's got the logistics version in his brain. He knows what I can use to help an agent get to where they want to go because I've lived the life and I know what they need.
Right.
So we often talk like, okay, how are we going to help this one agent? Like, okay, she needs a CRM. Let's give her some options of some. She doesn't even. She's using an Excel workbook. What is happening? Are you looking it up? Oh my gosh.
I really like that though. That you're more what their needs are. So you're not just blanket.
Like, here, take what I have to give you. I usually sit down and say, okay, I see what you're trying to do here. I see what you're looking for farming. I can help you with farming. I have the tools. I have the knowledge. I know how to do it. So let me help you if that is your goal. If you're wanting to get on social media, let's get with Melvyn. Let's clean up your social profile. Let's add a few things and some key details, things like that. And then just supporting them on if they need an event, if they're working in a transaction and it's a hot mess. Like Anthony said earlier, sometimes these brokers, they don't have any training, they don't have any help, they don't have any hotlines. And I'm like, listen, I'm not always going to have the answer, but call me. And I probably have been through some version of what you're going through, and I can either tell you what I did, or I can go get legal advice from our lawyer or from our title people and say, here, this is how you need to handle this. So it's like an overall resource to help agents on a one-on-one basis, but then also like if we're teams and brokerages, like what systems are you missing that you don't want to pay for that we already have, that if you're working with us, we can help you use. Yeah.
So, not to interrupt this, but magicalmelvyn.com is available.
I mean, I'll buy the domain.
I think you need to.
Magical. I have so many domains.
I just thought I'd throw that out there.
I also own onlyloans.com and justforloans.com.
Oh my God. Only loans.
Nice.
I had an idea one day. I was like,
That's a good idea.
Like,
play off logos.
Somebody
Is it
will want
It'll
to
just be like really, really sexy pictures of like lenders just in
Just
like outfits,
lenders.
just posing.
with money, like just
Onlyloans.com.
Anthony's your cover. Your
I was
poster
saying,
boy.
can I get the first picture?
like,
Absolutely.
on the cover.
Just guitars. Nothing else.
Oh my gosh, that's actually really a whole calendar. I can see it
Oh,
right
like
now.
how with the centerfold?
Yeah, just like
Will
January.
you be the centerfold?
No, I want you to be the
If
centerfold.
you're the centerfold,
You're not a lender. You can't be on Only Loans.
Oh,
If
that's
you're,
right.
if you're the centerfold, I will buy the episode or the issue.
I don't think anybody wants to see me
Oh
in the
my
centerfold.
gosh, Dad.
I think this is a great.
That would be some next level lending.
That would be some. Just use your name as a pun.
He
does
just
it all the
did.
time.
He
We
just
did.
pulled
We
it
did.
together.
You just did.
Magical
Melvyn.
just pulled it together.
Pulls me back
Magical
to I think it was Mad TV when it was what's the name? He's like, let's take it to the H&L, whole nother level.
Oh my god!
You remember him? No. Oh, I'll have to send it to you. It's good stuff.
If
But
it's a
that's
thing.
what we're doing. I mean, we're taking this thing to a whole nother level. I mean, let's be real. I'm
Let's be
tying
real.
that back in.
Let's-
So what's fun is
It's
now
really
that
fun.
we really have. This is why we got together,
Right.
right? And you even sent in a text. You know, this is the stuff that excites me.
Yep.
And you're helping agents. You're doing the right thing. You're rising tides should raise all ships, right?
Mm-hmm.
And being an agent, wanting to help agents, being a mortgage broker, wanting to help agents, and being a title company, wanting to help agents,
Yeah,
and
why
even
don't
a
we do
former
this
agent
together?
Like this is just just natural. I think it's extremely natural and extremely fun because we all kind of take our little pieces and have our responsibilities.
Yep. Yep.
It's really cool.
It is. It's going to be fun to bring it all together.
So we've got the Facebook page, which will have the events that you can RSVP for. It'll also have an Eventbrite for other people that maybe not on Facebook, but they are checking the Eventbrite page to see what activities are going around in Tampa related to real estate. If you are coming and you become a part of the community, there will be space is there for you to do your pitching for any properties. So get involved now, and then when that platform and how that process is going to go is rolled out, you'll be the first one kind of on the list.
Right.
And then we've got speakers. So we want to have a space to say, like, we've got all the ideas in the world of you should hear from this guy, this gal, whomever. But if you want to also say, I really need help in this area, whatever that is, that could be a space where you say, hey, I'm looking for someone to talk about this topic, and then other people can respond, hey, me too, or
Right.
I've been looking for this forever, whatever.
We'll be
Yes, and
doing
the likelihood
surveys
is-
after each event. Definitely I'll build out a survey and make sure that we capture people's thoughts, ideas, concerns, the good, the bad, the ugly. We want to know it all.
Yep.
So we can adapt ourselves and make sure that the event is what you're looking for.
Because ultimately, it's for you. It's for an agent.
is.
It's that's what we're doing this for. Is like when you get better, we get better,
Yeah.
and in all capacities.
Yeah.
Our community gets better. It's stronger. Our market gets stronger. All things improve when people start helping other people, and so that's what this is for. It's for you. It's for you guys, the agents.
We talked about the skill gap widening, but a lot of it is these younger agents are coming in,
Yeah.
locked and loaded.
And they don't know what they don't know.
They
at the
know
end of the day.
but they also know a lot more than what we know
Oh, especially when
when it comes to technology.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, there's
socials
a lot
and
of
Because
that.
we're going into
technology.
the tech, AI, social media, video world, these younger agents, they got that down pat. They might have to understand contracts and negotiating, and they don't have that skill set yet. They don't have contracts. all
Even the older
you know,
ones.
But they've been posting for
Sure.
years. at this point,
Sure,
you know?
but these younger agents are going to roll over us, right?
Yeah.
They're just going to roll, and once they get that skill set, they're unstoppable,
Right.
And that's why that skill gap is widening. You're seeing these young, aggressive agents come in, and so we got to stay on top of it.
So it's kind of like merging two worlds, like those younger agents with all these tech ideas, and their whole mind is like, how can I use tech? Because I've been braised? No, brought up and raised. Braised.
Braised.
Up and braised.
I like it.
Up and braised.
We'll go with it.
I've been braised in technology, like right there. My son is in the studio at the moment because I had to pick him up from school. He's got a headphone on with iPad. Like he's been like that's. Don't judge me as a parent.
He's our producer.
He's over there.
He's over here watching the
He's sitting-
podcast.
He's getting all the experience he needs, and in a few years he will be sitting in a seat
Yeah,
like
he's
that.
making.
Who knows?
He's,
So-
he's running the cameras right now.
He'll be
Absolutely.
a chat GPT master by the time
Oh, I know.
by
Okay,
next-
so
in the
let's talk
next
about
year.
that for a minute.
Yeah.
I have an issue with the schools.
Okay.
Think about this. The young crew. The
Call
young
your
crew is coming
congressman.
out. No, think about the schools. The schools are anti AI right now.
Yeah.
Yes.
Clearly.
Oh, we can tell when you use ChatGPT.
That's industry. I think that's just part of that industry. This kind of doesn't have that forward thinking yet.
But think about what would happen if the schools adapted, using the word adapt here. The schools adapted and they started actually
Building.
embracing,
Teaching towards it.
building so people could learn.
So they could learn.
What if they started adapting and started bringing
I agree.
AI into the schools?
Yeah.
And yes, you have to govern some of the essay writing and stuff.
100%.
But what if they brought AI into the schools? Because AI is not going anywhere.
It's
No,
here.
not at all.
It's not a fad.
So I want to piggyback on that, right? So most large corporations, like I have friends who work for Chase and Citibank.
You have friends?
And most of these, I do have some friends, not many, some.
Bankers? Sounds
bankers.
terrible.
But they all have their own proprietary versions of AI already built
Yeah.
in for the businesses, right?
Yeah,
and
yeah.
so those are skills that you're going to need in the workforce as you get older. And so what we're teaching our kids now isn't really helping them and preparing them for the future. So
Yep.
we can incorporate some of those little things. I mean, that's something that we could do too with this. We could actually have classes and things where we do middle school, high school teachings and, also bring that into this as well. So
Yeah, I did not mean to go off on a tangent with
I know.
that, with the school system, but how it relates to real estate is...
I live in a
is-
tandent. Just go ahead.
Yeah, I noticed. This is fun. But as it relates to real estate, is you can be stuck in the old real estate
Yeah.
mindset, and this is how business is done. You can still fax people things, right?
What?
what's that?
Where's it going to go?
No, I don't know. I'm saying
To a
that
cloud anyway.
There's agents out there that might be still faxing.
Yeah.
Okay. So you can be in that old mindset, or you can start adapting to a new mindset.
Yeah.
And in realizing that all of this is here, it's not going anywhere.
Right.
And we could be the schools and not change and just sit here and just anti, or we can actually move forward and push the business faster.
I
Right.
like that analogy better
Work
than the
smarter,
putting
not harder, man.
that.
It's there to
Putting
help.
that?
That was the whole basis of my class.
Work smarter, not harder. It's there to help. It's not going anywhere. And the same thing, if the schools were to implement something like that, I don't see it being a negative. Obviously, put some parameters around it, but
A lot of people are like,
it's there to help
future.
you research. It's there to help you get answers. I mean, now ChatGPT has a deep research button where it'll actually go out and search the world and come back to you in 15 minutes with a whole report. Or you could sit there for hours shuffling through an encyclopedia or Googling back to back. And how efficient is that? You're sitting there for hours trying to research.
you could be
when
making
you
your
could
phone
just
calls.
pinpoint, all right,
So easy.
I'm doing a thing on Leif Erikson or whatever. Or boom, I need to know exactly this about where he went. I need to know every destination, the dates that he got, whatever. Or you could flip through 500 pages and try to take a note of each. Why? Work smarter, not
No,
harder.
you could go
That's
to your
it. That comes
Encyclopedia Britannica.
Britannica,
Oh, boy.
right?
Do they
On the
still sell
shelf?
those? Do they
What
still
you
sell
call
those?
it, 97, and throw it in your little windows.
Yeah, for real.
I used to go to Great Scott. It was a grocery store. And
Great Scott.
Great Scott was a grocery store in Michigan.
What a great place to plug in
And
one of those
every
clips.
week they would launch a new encyclopedia. Like you could buy the newest one. So you'd go back and you'd be all excited. For $5, you get the next encyclopedia. Next thing you know, you have a library.
Oh, I kind of miss that.
I don't.
I miss
do, a
some
little
things
bit.
like
I
that.
love books,
I
though.
do.
I mean, Mel will tell you.
Yeah.
I'm like a few hundred short from a library. You only need 1,000 books to be considered a library. I'm like super close.
I like old school research. I don't mind actually getting in front of the paper and reading through things. Not that I want to. I just
not
don't mind
efficient.
it. Yeah,
It's not efficient.
I just don't mind it.
But
I like research.
to me, it's calming, and I love research too. I love like knowing things that just about human existence and about growth and about mindset and all that. Like that's my.
Yeah, you can
I'll
use
read all day
use
about
AI for that.
that. But
You
then
can,
I can read
absolutely.
through the AI, the AI
Melvin
research.
and I
that
are like,
exists.
yeah.
No.
So that's what I mean. Like in a situation where we're building lab, we're combining this fast forward, like here's what we have available to us right now with the desire to get better and to do the research and things like, let's help you do it faster.
Yeah.
Like, let's get you, just like with the school analogy, like you don't want to be doing the same thing because those kids, when they get out of school and they've never been taught how to properly use AI, and then they get thrown into an industry where they're like, cool, you need to do this and this and this.
Oh, they're going to get ran over by the people who did
Oh, yeah.
that. You know?
Look at the industry.
the other
now,
countries
like,
that are allowing it.
most industries now, most workers in the workforce, like there's only like 16% of them that are going to adapt AI and run with it right away.
Yeah.
And then the rest of the company is going to take forever. They're going to be laggards
Yep.
and waiting for the last
He
people
said
to come
about 16. I feel like that was more accurate.
in. It was accurate. It was like just 2% you have innovators and 14% are early adopters, right? So
was like, that
2%
number
of us,
did not come out of
2% of
nowhere.
us out of all the people we work with are, the early
I think it's
adopters. and everything.
2.1%.
It was 2.1. I swear I could pull it in my notes. It was 2.1, and then I think it was like 14.6 for the other one. 16 and 16, something along those lines.
All right. So I'm excited, guys.
I think it was
This is
2.4.
yeah. Can we get more-
3.1499 pi.
please?
It was pi.
It was
That's
pi.
what it was. It was pi.
We need some more accuracy in this podcast. So,
For real.
yeah, this is great.
I love
This
it.
is great.
So we're excited, and I think that's the main point. Like when you're going somewhere where there's high energy and the people are excited to be there and to be giving you what you're going to be getting, and you're going to feel excited when you leave. You're going to feel pumped. You're going to feel ready to go. You're going to feel like that was a good waste of my time. That was a good 3 hours on a Thursday. Like, let me get in there, and that's something I need to put on my calendar every month so I can go in and refresh where I'm at and jumpstart.
Well,
to
we all
something
know.
new.
If you're not learning anything daily, like come to the class and learn something for the week, right? Like that's really
We all know
learn
how-
something once a week.
We all know
once
how
a month.
pumped up you feel when you leave an event.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's the goal, right? Once a month, re-energize, go back out there in the field, come back,
Yep.
recharge, re-energize, go back out in the field,
Yeah.
and
Learn and
all
implement.
the pudding, all the creme brulee,
Fat.
whatever,
All
it
the
is,
beef tallow.
beef tallow, anything you want. I mean, maybe we'll get some sponsors after all.
Welcome to the Agent Lab, sponsored by
Beef tallow.
Beef tallow.
Beef Tallow.
Lather it up.
Just go ahead and put
My
that out
gosh.
there. I would not mind being sponsored by beef tallow, just saying.
I don't know. I just think of that little Vine, the little girl. I smell like beef.
But do I
Remember
smell my
her?
arm?
I don't know.
No, that's
a New York strip right there.
It's great.
I'm not sure what that is. I don't think it's not a sexy
not
smell.
tallow.
I'll
It's
tell you
not
that.
sexy. It's medicinal.
Why
but
do I all of a sudden want steak?
Yeah, right.
I'm not sure how I feel about that scent, to be
it's
completely honest with you.
Do they have like
and
a
lavender.
chimichurri to go with it?
Like
or no?
Frankenstein.
Okay, Melvin does not like my beef arm, so
All right, guys, this has been awesome.
It has been.
And,
Listen, well, what are we have an aim for the first? Is it April? We're shooting for April.
First of yeah. The first
So, we'll
Agent Lab
stay
will
tuned.
be. Yeah, we just got to figure out the location. Wrap it all
it's
up.
April.
Yeah.
So we
Is it third?
Yeah.
You can't go on that thing anyway.
It is April.
I know.
3rd.
That's what I thought.
It is April
Well, that's
3rd.
a lot faster than we
Yeah.
than we got coming up. So well, we'll take all that off afterwards. Figure out where
Yeah,
these
April
action
3rd, 9 to
items are.
12.
Yeah.
9 to 12 in the morning.
Okay, 9 to 12 in the morning. And at the moment, Coppertail is where we're at. And all the information will be on the page. And if you're seeing this on any of our social medias right now, you can go and join the Facebook page. You'll find out all the details so you know exactly where to go, exactly where time it starts, and what we're going to be talking about. This is just to kind of let you guys know what this event is and what it's all about, and that we are excited to bring it to you, and we hope that you join us on these Thursday talks. So I am KJ Workman with Milestone Title. I am here with Melvyn Bermudez. I'm going to let him take over and introduce himself.
Melvyn, Milestone Title. Listen, I'm excited for this whole situation. So just that's going to be my intro. You know who I am. If you don't, we'll probably have this on both of our podcasts. Everything will be in the show notes. At Melvyn Ray. Melvin's with a Y. Melvyn. But I'm super excited. Something I texted y'all was just, finding your people and being able to do stuff like this with the right people is massive.
Yeah.
So I think this is going to be absolutely incredible. And then who knows, you might find your people at this event as well, just to network with. You might find, insights and things that you could take away that like, whoa, didn't even think about doing that way. And that's our end goal, help you grow. You grow, we all grow. So.
And I'm Thom Tillier. You can find me at Instagram, ThomTillier. That's Tom with an H. And I'm using my best. Using my best radio.
That's a really nice voice you got there.
You like that?
I was going to say it's a really nice
His
voice.
whole pitch changed.
Let me see if I can figure that out.
Do it again.
Thom Tillier, Thom. Okay. Anyway, I'm super excited. Part of EXP Luxury, and I found just this passion over time of helping agents. I failed to reach up as much. I always reached down and help pull people up, and now I found reaching up and getting help from other people really helped me as well. And I just wasn't that guy. But it's amazing what happens if you allow it to happen. It's amazing what happens if you reach up to somebody that seems unapproachable, that knows a lot more than you. It's amazing how fast the learning curve changes.
That's the big key. You have to allow it, and you have to want
You have to allow it. And I did not allow it for a long time. And since October, I've been allowing it, and my world has changed. Now I just want to pour back into other people. So
Right. So you're doing a little of this.
I'm doing a little bit of this. I'm stretched out.
I'm stretching.
I got to piggyback.
Oh,
I
wow.
agree. I like your analogy there. And so when you say you like reach down and you bring people up, I think that's kind of where I felt when I first met you and how you've helped me get to where I'm at. So,
Oh, thanks.
yeah, I appreciate that.
Thanks. I helped you get to the next level.
Yeah, yeah. Me to the
Next
next level.
level.
So with that, I'm Anthony Suarez with Next Level Lending, and I'm like the AI mortgage guy, I guess. And so really trying to help agents here.
AIMortgageGuy.com.
And yeah, let me know if that's available.
See if we can figure that out.
Add to cart.
Yeah, add to cart. So just
You
really
guys are
trying
going to
to
have
get
to
us
pay me
together.
for these
and-
names. I'm sorry, Anthony.
No,
Keep
you're
going.
good. You're good. You're good. It's all right. It's not, I like being interrupted by you. It's not a problem at all. So, and with that said, we'll just leave it all here, and we'll follow us on Instagram, Facebook. Everybody will drop their handles in, I'm sure, for the podcast and
Drop.
stuff. So we look forward to seeing everybody there. And Agent Labs, April 3rd, right?
Let's go.
April 3rd.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Let's go.
All right.
Boom.
All right. boom.
Thank you,
I
guys.
feel like
Love
a
that.
Power
I've
Ranger.
never done that before. I like that.
I know. When our powers combine.
It was new.
That's Captain Planet, man.
Yeah, I know.
All right.
I am Captain Planet.
That's the last call for this round of Re-Brew with Melvyn and KJ and Milestone too. From Tampa's breweries to deals done right, we'll catch you next time. Cheers and good night.